Hello?
喂，请问陈先生在吗？
I can't understand this guy.
喂，
请问您是
我是陈太太。
陈太太？你好，我也姓陈，是陈先生的远房亲戚，来自中国。我从他的亲戚手中拿到了这个号码。
He say he's your relative from China. Another of your relative gave him your number.
Who?
是谁给你陈先生的电话号码？
立伟，
立伟。
Li Wei? I don't remember such name.
Hello， 很抱歉，他想不起来了。
哦，没关系，我只是想通知陈先生，我现在在新加坡做工。
那好的，我会转告他。
喂，请问陈先生在吗？
他不在，请问哪一位？
我前几天有打电话过来，我是他的亲戚，我现在迫切需要他的帮忙。
有什么事吗？
那天我在建筑工地工作时，我挖出了一个骨灰瓮。
骨灰瓮？
当我打开来时，里面藏着金块和旧钱币，跟一份遗书。现在我不知道该怎么办。
那陈先生能帮你什么？
我能和他见个面吗？在新加坡，我没有别的亲戚可以帮我了。
你知道 Tanah Merah 地铁站在哪里吗？我就在那里等你。
好的，那到时见。
Hello，
喂，我刚到德士站，穿蓝色衣服的。
哎，我看到你了。
陈太太，你好，
你好，
这是我朋友，
哎，你好。
你好，
很感谢你能帮我这个忙。诶，陈先生呢？
他在家里等我们。哇，你看，这是真的宝物。
就是因为这样，所以我们才不知道该怎么办。其实我们有上百个金块，但今天我们没有全部带来，它们很重，
This is gold.
我们还没有拿去检验，所以也不很确定。我们工作最近比较忙，你可以帮我们拿去检验吗？
没问题，我认识乌洛的一间金匠。
不过陈太太，我们不是很放心把所有的金块都给你，我们可以锯开一小片儿，然后你拿去检验吗？
没问题，你们也不可能这么快就相信我们吧？
是的，因为在新加坡我只认识你们。陈太太，
我看这是真的吧？
但愿如此。
Hello. Can you check, is this real gold?
Sure, please take a seat. Yes, this is real gold.
Really? Thank you. By the way, can I know how much is this worth?
About $300.
Oh, really? Thank you.
喂，陈太太，你好，你还记得我跟你说过，我想把金块卖了，然后捐献给慈善机构吗？
哦，是。
因为工作繁忙，我没有时间去找一个好的买家。我打给你是想问你，你有兴趣买这些金块吗？
我不知道我有没有足够的钱买下全部的金块，我需要跟我老公商量。
那好吧，等你做好决定打给我。我们走吧。
So how?
They really have over 100 pieces.
Really?
So, what do you think?
Well, it might be expensive, but this sort of item were bound to bring us good luck. I think we should buy all if we can afford it. After all, the money will go to charity.
喂，
陈先生，我想问你，那些金块你要卖多少？
15万，
啊？怎么这么贵？
这已经是个很好的价钱了，我不能再低了。这也是为了在做慈善。
可是15万，实在太贵了。
好吧，那你能给我出多少
11万吧。
？11万。好吧，那就11万。
try to reduce the price if you can. 110,000 is still a lot of money.
I already told you what they say, right? And you told me it will bring good luck, right?
Yeah. Here they are coming.
可以给我那些金块吗？
可以，你有带钱来吗？
我们可以再降低价钱吗？
陈太太，我们会约今天见，是因为价钱我们已经谈好了，请你了解我们现在的情况。你们有带书包来吗？钱呢？好，数目是对的。
This is the shop I came.
Okay, let's go.
Hello, how can I help you?
I would like to check the value of this ingot.
Okay. Ma'am, are you sure this ingot is made from gold?
She came here a few days ago, and your colleague told her the same similar ingot was made of real gold.
Yeah, that was me.
And then?
Okay, let me double check again. Ma'am, this cannot be real gold. I heated it and it turned black. It must be an alloy of some normal metal.
Call the guy and tell him what happened.
The customer you're calling is currently unavailable. Please try
The phone is off.
I'm sorry. These are not made from gold.
Hi, good afternoon, ma'am. I can just take a seat. So what happened, ma'am?
I'm here to make a report.
Okay,
A man sold paid gold ingots to me.
okay.
I actually paid 110,000 for the ingots. He said that he was my husband's relative from China. He came with another man every time we met.
Which part of China is your husband from?
Xiamen.
So when you meet up with the two men, how did they look? Any distinctive features?
They were both Chinese nationals. One of them was big, and the other one was thin and tall. I think they were in their 30s. Both of them had short hair. They told me they were construction workers.
So where did you meet them?
They came to my house once. I also met them near Tanah Merah MRT, and once I dropped them off near Bedok MRT.
Stanley, I've just checked with the telco on the phone number they used to call Mrs. Tan.
How did you go?
Bad news. It's a prepaid card that belongs to an Indian national who had left Singapore on the 24th of November.
Looks like the SIM card was from a black market. Okay, I spoke to Mrs. Tan. She said that she met the two men at Bedok and Tanah Merah MRT station. Call Transcom. Check to see if they have any CCTV footage of Mrs. Tan and the two men. We can't see the faces from these videos.
Yeah, this is the only video that they had.
Okay, let's try something else to confirm their faces. Get information from ICA.
Get them to give us photographs of travelers from China who has been coming in and out of Singapore for the past 2 months, especially those traveling in pairs. So once we have the photograph, set up an appointment with Mrs. Tan for a photo ID parade.
This is the one. And this one.
Are you sure, Mrs. Tan?
Yes. I met these two people. I'm sure it's them.
Stanley, I've called ICA to check on the residential address of the two men. However, they informed that they already left on the 7th of December.
Did you get the names?
They are Xiong Jingming and Yang Zhenming.
Inform Interpol. We need to put these two people on the wanted list. Also call ICA. Get them to call us once any of these two comes back to Singapore.
Sure, I'll do that. All right, I'll call you if there's anything else. Thank you, thank you. Stanley, Jingming is back to Singapore. This time it's accompanied by 3 others. They are currently staying at an apartment in Balestier. I'll be receiving more information shortly.
Great. Do you have the names of these 3 people?
Yes, they are Yang Bailing, Zhong Shuidong, Zhong Ruiping.
Okay. Are they visiting Singapore for the first time?
Bailing and Ruiping are here for the first time, but Shuidong is his 3rd visit to Singapore.
So once you have more information, gather the team for a case conference. The 2 suspects are Xiong Jingming and Yang Zhenming. These 2 men sold fake gold ingots to the victim, Mrs. Tan. Mrs. Tan paid a hefty $110,000 for the fake gold ingots. Unfortunately, the 2 men had returned to China by the time the police report was made.
However, just a few days ago, Yang Zhenming has returned to Singapore with 3 others. They are Zhong Shuidong, Yang Bailing, and Zhong Ruiping. We believe they are part of a syndicate that's out to scam new people.
According to Intel, the 4 of them could be staying at 432 Balestier Road. Interestingly, they have another room at a nearby hotel.
We believe that they could be using this room to store some of the fake gold ingots.
We will raid the apartment at 432 Balestier Road at 3:30 p.m. today. What do you need? Stand by.
Roger. Isma, you stay here. I'll go up.
We are checking the area now.
我是乌洛警署的高级调查官 Stanley， 现在以欺骗罪行逮捕你们。Search your house。We have checked with the hotel and confirmed that Zhong Shuidong and Zhong Ruiping were the ones who checked into the hotel room. Once we have arrested the 4 subjects, we will bring either Shuidong or Ruiping to raid the room that they have checked into. 东西在哪里？
我不知道。
Search the place.
Sir. Sir, found this at the false ceiling.
Good. Looks like the numbers of the people who were caught were probably obtained from some kind of directories.
Snowball is rather interesting. It acts as a log of the people that they call. It's very systematic and contains all the responses from the callers.
Let's try to find out whose handwritings these are. Denise, I need you to choose a random paragraph of Chinese text. Tell each of them to copy the paragraph onto a fresh piece of paper. Make sure the paragraph is long and the words in a sentence should be jumbled, so that the suspects will not be able to disguise their handwriting for too long. Once they are done, send the pages to HSA along with the notebook to check if any of the entries match the handwriting of one of our suspects.
是不是你把资料写进这本簿子里？
我不知道。
是你接收了那些藏在天花板的邮包。录像也显示，你和水东轮流拿着邮包。
我只是在帮他，我不知道里面是什么。
Richard, I need your help.
What should I do?
I've been testing to see if these ingots are made of real gold. So I need you to help me to check the rest of the pieces.
Okay.
So basically, we're using this water displacement method. So we need to record the mass of the ingot first. Next, we'll pour water into this beaker. This will be the initial volume. Next, place the ingot into the beaker. This will be the final volume. So what we'll do is to take the difference between the final and initial volume. That will be the volume of the ingot. So basically, we'll just need to divide the mass of the ingot by the volume of the ingot to get the density.
714.
What's the density of gold?
You're testing me here.
All right. Density is 19.3 grams per cubic centimeter.
Which means that this ingot wasn't made of gold.
Precisely. It's probably made from some other materials. I'll need your help to check the rest of the ingots and get back to me again.
Roger.
Thanks.
我什么都不知道，我不知道你在说什么。
为什么你和其他人都住在一起，你却什么都不懂？
我们只是住在一起，所以房租会比较便宜。我真的什么都不知道。
Stanley.
Hey.
HSA just sent me a mail. They suspect that the log was written by Sui Dong. Apparently, he tried changing his handwriting when we made him write the paragraph. It's highly likely he's the one who wrote on the notebook.
I just checked all the ingots. None of them were made of gold.
我都跟你说了，那个铺子里的事情，我什么都不知道。
如果你不知道的话，邮包来的时候，为什么柜台的职员会打电话给你？根据资料显示，我们找到贾金定的房间，登记的人也是你。你还是跟我们合作。簿子里面的资料是谁给你的？
是我，那是我从市读书里拿到的电话号码，然后记录在里面。
那贾金定哪里买的？
那是我从中国的商店里面买来的。在接近新年的时候，这些假金锭都可以买得到。
我什么也不知道。
其他人在这个骗局中扮演了什么角色？
我不知道你在说什么。我已经说了，我什么都不懂。我们只是住在一起，这样房租会比较便宜。
杨振明，上个月你和熊金明来新加坡卖假金锭，我们现在已经有证人可以指证你，还有对你不利的录像证据。我看你还是跟我合作。
这全是金明的主意，是他叫我们来这里的。他说会迟一点再跟我们会合，也是他把那些邮报寄给我们的。
上次来新加坡的时候，是不是你打电话给受害者的？
不是我。金明会从氏族书中找出电话号码，然后打给他们。他说他是他们的亲戚，他也会观察那个人是否友善，然后记录下来，所以他就知道接下来要怎么处理了。
你真的没有打那些电话？
我只打了一通。
受害者说，你们在他们面前锯了金锭，可是为什么你给他们的却是假的？
应该会很值钱的。那是因为我们趁他们不注意的时候，把那些金锭调包了。应该会很值钱的。
你们拿了11万逃跑了，对吗？那为什么还回来新加坡？
在整个骗局中，只分给了我3万块，但是我需要还债，所以我以为我这次可以骗到更多人。
Zhong Sui Dong was found guilty of conspiracy to commit cheating. He was sentenced to 3 years and 3 months imprisonment. Yang Zhenming was found guilty of cheating. He was sentenced to 2 years and 6 months imprisonment. Yang Bailin and Zhong Ruiping were repatriated to China. Xiong Jingming is still on the run but is wanted by police. Xiong Jingming and Yang Zhenming had cheated the elderly couple of $110,000 of their hard-earned savings. Upon receiving the cash, both men fled from Singapore the next day before the victim lodged a police report. Like most scam cases, Mr. and Mrs. Tan's money could not be recovered. When the case was first reported, very little was known about Xiong Jingming and Yang Zhenming. However, with the assistance from the Immigration and Checkpoint Authority and the Public Transport Security Command, Senior Investigation Officer Stanley and his team were able to identify and act against the criminals. As the accused persons were foreigners and remanded upon arrest, Senior Investigation Officer Stanley and his team needed to quickly make a preliminary assessment on the integrity of the 100 over gold ingots to decide if the police indeed had a case against them. All the gold ingots were subsequently sent to Health Sciences Authority for examination. One of the victims of this scam, Michael, shares his experience when he encountered the scammers.
他是元宝也有遗嘱，写得非常清楚的，要留着怎么样后代如果挖到的某某人啊，如果做善心的时候啊，如果找不到亲人就作罢，如果找到了就把这些元宝归还给他的下一代。我本来不接受的，他跪下来的，所以我要警告，如果那些可怜兮兮的跪下来请你求饶啊，帮忙他啊，这些人啊，你就应该把他绳之以法。现在我要提醒啊，像我们这种年纪的人啊，经常啊，他们抓住这些老人家的弱点啊，他们基于一种同情心啊，他们不择手段。以后啊，碰到这些人啊，就不要听他们的花言巧语，要个别的警惕，不要再步成我的后路，让他们欺骗。
Here are some crime prevention tips for you and your loved ones. Be very careful when befriending strangers. Do not let your guard down when talking to strangers, be it face-to-face, online, or over the phone. Do not divulge personal information, such as your NRIC number or address, to them, as it might be used against you. One other common modus operandi of scammers is sale of fake jewelry. The key messages to our friends and loved ones are: do not buy jewelry from suspicious sellers and street peddlers. Make purchases from established and reputable merchants. Before buying jewelry, have every piece checked with a certified gemologist or credible jeweler to make sure they are all authentic. Be careful of get-rich-quick offers. If an offer sounds too good to be true, it is likely to be a scam. Should you encounter any of these incidents, inform the police immediately. We've come to the end of Crime Watch. Feel free to drop us an email if you have any feedback. Until next time, I'm DSP Teo Ziming signing off.